Hey, you guys, welcome. It's David at Bali and Beyond. I'm here with my new friend, Ceasar. Ceasar, what's your last name?
Balestrini, Italian.
I knew that. No, I didn't. Balestrini. Well, you told me the other night, we met, literally kind of met, really got to know each other just a week ago.
A week ago.
Ceasar was, let me see if I can remember. So, Italian father, Mexican mother, came up from Mexico but lived many, many years in Canada.
Yeah. Something like that. Well, my grandparents from Italy.
Okay.
And my dad from Argentina.
Oh my gosh.
My mom from Mexico, and I've been living in Canada in Calgary for 10 years.
So your mother's parents were Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay. But your father's parents were
Italian and Argentinian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Did they go to Italy in the 40s?
My granddad used to go more often than my dad. My dad, he went just once, and I went.
Oh, I'm sorry. When did they come from Italy to Argentina?
When it was in 1912.
Wow.
There was these huge opening visas for Italians,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just came. Same with the Spanish. You know that at that time a lot of Italians and Spaniards came to Argentina
Looking for a better life.
Looking for better lives, and they were a good. The government was giving chances, with taxes and property and stuff. So it was helping.
They were looking for people.
They were looking for people. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool story.
It is a very cool story.
And how did your dad? Was he born in Argentina?
My dad was born in Argentina.
And he met your mom.
So my granddad brought this music firm, Italian music firm. The name was Ricordi. So they brought this brand to Mexico to open the market in Mexico.
Wow.
And it happens that in Mexico it went big because in Mexico it's a bridge to Europe, to America, to the States, South America. So it's all connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a huge market that once they were there, they realized that it was a very strong market, and it became stronger than the Argentinian one,
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why my dad moved and met my mom, and the story started, right there.
And how old were you when you came to Canada?
I was 42.
Okay. So it hasn't been that long.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had the family in Mexico.
I had my whole family in Mexico. So, my whole family from my mom, from my dad, is all in Argentina.
Okay. And so do you still have Mexican citizenship?
I have the Mexican citizenship, but also I have the Canadian citizenship.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2014. January 28, 2014, I became Canadian
citizen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. I enjoyed it very much.
So you still have, you can have 2 passports, though?
I can have the chance to have 2 passports. Yeah.
Nice for you. It's a great world we live in, isn't it? Now
It is.
For the adventurous, for the fortunate, there's lots of opportunity.
Yeah.
So
I consider myself a little bit more citizen of the world,
Yes. Yeah. Well, me too.
Everywhere, So. And I fit here in because everyone is coming from everywhere.
Especially in Calgary. It's hard to find Calgarians. My kids are Calgarians.
No, nice.
Because they were born here, right?
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I'm originally from the East Coast, from New Brunswick.
Oh,
which is like another country.
Yeah.
It's certainly like another world.
A little chilly there, huh?
Well, no chillier than here. It's no chillier than here. I mean, this is bitching cold.
Oh, this is a scream.
This is really bad. So we met a week ago, and Ceasar and I were really blessed to be chosen, to be invited to an event where a group of women who had been doing some work together for an extended period of time. This was the finale of that event, and these women had the opportunity to really come out with some of their pain. And the men, there were 16 of us. We stood for them. And held space to be whoever it was that these women wanted to move their energy with, and it was an amazing, wasn't it?
It was amazing, and I was telling James that the part that I learned was that I usually, as as I am an energy worker, I do shamanic art, and I work with all that. I usually give my feedback right away. I participate, you know. So for me, just holding presence, you know, just being there, just
saying nothing.
Yeah, it was a huge teaching.
Yeah,
you know,
because any of us that actually got called into the circle to receive the energy were standing in for whoever the man was that they wanted to you know, it wasn't really about us anyway, you know, and we were just to be there and be in the energy. But oh my gosh,
it was strong. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, because I guess you like that intensity, and
it was,
and so do I.
Yes.
I love that there was such an opportunity for healing. I mean, there was healing.
It was healing.
You know, for the women who really participated, you could see that they just got they found some freedom.
Because there was this emotional vulnerability from everyone, you know. So they were just opening their hearts right there, and all that. You don't see it often.
No,
actually, you see the other way around. Everyone is closing. They don't want. They don't want to open.
No trust.
Because
afraid.
You don't trust others, and you don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
So out of fear, but this was open heart.
It was open heart.
There was love. The room was so full of love that, well, at the end, you know, we're kind of sworn to confidentiality, so I can't talk about a lot of things. But we did get a chance to kind of connect with each woman for just a minute, and I had such an emotional catharsis. It was like, oh my God, I sobbed, and so there was healing for us. We kind of got a free ride, didn't we?
Yes.
You know, I mean, we threw some money in the pot, but still, it was like,
we did,
what a beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was such a relief. Next day, oh my God, I was just thinking about it, and
well, I could hardly work the next day. I had a bit of a, you know, when you have that kind of a deep emotional thing happen, you know, that I was. It wasn't me the next day. I had to kind of feel into who was here. You know, it was a big shift for me.
Plus all the love, you know, that it was there, and all the peace and everything. You know, you get it just right there.
We could all stayed all night.
Oh, totally. It was long though.
Yeah, it was. It was a big night, and so that's where we met, and we got chatting. And I thought it would be wonderful to have Ceasar come in and talk to us, and because he's does a lot of stuff in the community. You tell us you do some drumming stuff.
Yeah. So everything started, let's say, probably 3 years ago when I got separated. I got into a deep sadness and confusion, you know. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just needed to go to this place. It was like a magnet, but the place was nothing. Right? I was coming from everything, having my family, house, and all these bases, and I was just going to the nothing. But I had this magnet, and I couldn't understand myself. I was not sleeping at night, confusion. And then I remember one day. I started to send some chanting, some native chantings, and I was a little bit surprised because I was by myself and there was no radio, no nothing, and I was just sensing these singing, you know, and it hit me strong because that was my starting point into my spirituality. I started to be more curious about my existence, you know, and of course brought more confusion and more questions instead of answers, right? Like and for every question that you think that you find the answer, it comes more and more, and you know. So that brought me into an East Indian teaching that is called Diksha, and I met Tanis Fishman.
Yes.
So in something that is called the sacred chamber, something that is very sacred and it's a beautiful stuff, you know, that they do, and so Tanis, there was this workshop in Toronto. So I went to Toronto, and we were standing in line, and Tanis was right there, and then we started talking, and we didn't stop talking. For the 3 days that the workshop lasted, and it was broadcast.
So you didn't know she's from Calgary, you're from Calgary, you're both the same?
Exactly. So we were just there, and And I remember she said, "You know what, Caesar? A friend of mine, a friend of mine is going to Mexico, and is going to a pilgrimage. I think you need to go there." And I was like, no, I need to go to India, you know. I need to go to Egypt or Bolivia or Peru.
Yes.
Mexico. I'm coming from Mexico. What do I go to Mexico for, you know? I said, "Oh, yeah, because there is this indigenous tribe, and you know the Huicholes?" And then I kind of knew about them a little bit. And I said, "Yeah, I know the Huicholes." As mestizos, which is mixed breed, we call it Huicholes, but they call themselves Huirráticas. So one thing jumped to another, and then I was on the plane flying to Mexico.
Wow.
To go to the pilgrimage. You know?
Followed the thread.
Well, actually, it was pretty interesting how it happened, because I connected with this friend who is my carnal, you know, my brother, my hermano, and he's from London, and well, actually, he's from Germany, and he was in London at that time, and I emailed in about the pilgrimage, and he said, "You know what, Caesar? There's no space, there's no spot for you." And I said, "Okay, well, it's not going to happen. It's fine." So next day he said, "What? There is a spot for you." I talked to the Maracams. I talked to the Maracams are the medicine men and all the people that they're making these happen, and then they say that there is it is up to the deer, and you will if the deer call you, then you will come. So after I read my email, I was like, a deer needs to call me now. And then Tanis was asking me, "You know what, Caesar, are you going to Mexico?" And I said, "Well, I don't think so, Tanis, because
I don't know any deer.
Apparently, I don't know any deer, you know. And apparently, a deer needs to call me, and I don't think it's going to happen, you know."
The thread.
Yeah. So
awesome.
2 days after, she called me every day, and then she called me. It was Wednesday, I remember, and the next Wednesday it was the pilgrimage starting. So she called me and said, "Caesar, what's going on? You're going to Mexico." I said, "You know what? I'm no call, nothing, no deer. I'm not going to Mexico now. I mean, I need to do it now. Like that's it. No more time." So I jump in the shower, and exactly when I was just I remember the water coming into my body, and then I opened my eyes, and then there I saw the deer in a forest, and the deer was doing something like, you know, like the dogs, you know, when they want them to chase them, you know, and it was like calling me. It was exactly that, you know. So then I said, okay.
Wow.
Came out of the shower, and boom, computer, blah, 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 and then I called Tanis. The deer called. I'm going to Mexico. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
You saw it clearly. I feel touched.
I saw it clearly.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I discovered that one of the gifts that I was granted was the vision. You know, my carnal Habib, mi hermano, he says that that's my cosmic television. You know. And so when he wants to ask me something, "Hey, could you connect with your cosmic television?" Tells me whatever. So then, I ended up going to Mexico, and
where to?
First it was in Mexico City, and then we went to close to Mexico City, like 2 hours from
Cuernavaca.
It's called Tepoztlan.
Okay.
And it's very energetical, that place, and we did
in the mountains.
In the mountains, there's a huge mountain. Yeah, they say that the
Costco's up there, is it?
Before that, like an hour and a half before, or 2 hours before. So we did a lot of ceremonies, and what I discovered, I actually rediscover myself.
Nice.
My reconnection with nature, you know, and then they told me that this indigenous tribe is the oldest one in the world, that they continue doing their traditions non-stopping, you know. So they're calculating 11,000 years doing this pilgrimage of life every single year, non-stop, you know. So they went through all the empires, you know, Roman, Egyptians, and they continue doing it non-stop. You know, they're protectors of life. And of course, the pilgrimage the protectors of the hikuri or the peyote, right? So they call themselves the protectors of the peyote or the abuelito or the abuelo or the grandfather, you know. So I learned so much there. I learned to be grateful, you know. Well, I've seen Padre Sol, Father Son every morning. I learned that having the miracle of life, which is breathing, it is such a blessing, you know, and we take it for granted, you know. So I learned so many things.
More than that, we complain.
Completely, totally, you know. So I came back and I connected with the Blackfoot. And after connecting with the Blackfoot, I started doing ceremonies with the Blackfoot, which are the sweat lodge.
Are you sweating them?
Yeah.
With the Casey Eagle speaker?
Casey, exactly.
You sweat with Casey?
Yeah,
He's a friend of mine, yes.
Incredible. So much teachings.
Yes.
And then I went with the rival tribe, with the Cree.
With the Cree, yeah.
I did sweat lodge with the Cree as well. Yeah. I didn't tell him.
Did the Cree come and sweat?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
We call them Blackfoot Cree.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. So then, I learned so much, and then that brought me to meet the Cherokees.
Did you meet my friend Distance?
Distance, of course.
Distance is my
super brother.
Best little brother.
Yeah. I was in his his kid initiation.
I was supposed to be there.
Oh,
I was supposed to be. I was sick that day.
I was going to meet you there then.
Yes, I know it's taken a while. I know. Casey and I both spoke at his wedding. When he married Cara.
Nice. Yeah,
yes.
I know.
I've held the little one many times.
Yeah, I hold it in the sweat. You know. Yeah. But when we were doing the ceremony, a beautiful ceremony, it was amazing.
It's fun.
Yeah, I gave him an offering, and it's this beautiful feather that I found in Writing on Stone. Writing on Stone is such a sacred place. It's close to Lake River. I don't know if you know it.
Yes.
And then I found that, and I gave him a rock when I did a ceremony in Standing Rock. I went to Standing Rock a year ago.
Wow.
And I gave him that offering for this distance. Yeah, awesome.
He's a beautiful man.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Good friends. He's my little brother.
Yeah. Well, so I started doing that with them, you know, and then I ended up with the Cherokees, and I had my elder, you know, and I started going every other week to talk to her, you know, and I just wanted to do my vision quest. So I did my vision quest in Sundry, and
3 days in
the
cold.
In the cold, no food, no water, and the connection is strong. You know, you connect with Creator, right? You connect with Mother Earth, and they're wild horses, you know. So remember, at night is the most challenging time, you know, because all the fears come to you, you know, and it's strong, you know. It's a strong journey, a strong quest. And I remember feeling the horses coming, and then once you have them close, they go. You know, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is not exactly what you're expecting.
You
right?
can't see me.
But you open a sacred space, and I learned so much stuff. You know, so that brought me into one day. I remember. My elder asked me, "Hey, Ceasar, could you help me with the drumming?" You know, and I remember I did my drum. I made my drum. I bung with my drum. It's moose hide and everything, you know. But I was not playing my drum. You know, I was just keeping it right there and like no touching my drum. I remember my elder. Her name is Marcia. She was saying. You should play it, you know. You play your drum, and I said, "Yeah, but what do I do with the drum? Like, how could I play my drum, you know?" So it was just in the corner, you know. So then there was this offering, and then she said, "Ceasar, could you help me doing the drum journey?" And I said, "Perfect," you know. So I remember standing with one of my sisters, and when I started playing, you know, I felt the energy and. And it's one thing to be a participant in a drum journey, and the other completely when you facilitate it. And I totally felt it, you know. And then I started to receive calls, you know. meditating or at night, and then one day it was so strong. It is a very emotion. It brings emotion to me because I received the message that I was a guardian to bring the sacredness of those traditions, So it was very strong, I got the message and I said, okay, I know what I need to do, right? So then I started kind of, little by little, here and there, asking for a place to start doing my journeys, And then the ones that opened their place was Junction 9 and Yoga Passage. And then I started doing my journeys there, So now I totally do it my way, or actually it is the way I just channel, right? It's coming to me. Yeah. So it is a very powerful tradition, and it's been with us for thousands of years. And the same with the medicine wheel, the same with Vision Quest, all that, those connections. The Sundance, those.
Sundance is next.
And Sundance is next, yeah. Well, that's hardcore, man. But I'm up to it, I always.
It is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He did it last year, or is this
last year?
Last year, right? Yeah. So I know that as the traditions are very powerful, but the thing is that it opened a completely new avenue for me, because which is not new, actually, it's ancient. This is rediscovering an ancient avenue, of healing, of understanding, of listening to yourself, because in the journey, usually it is your subconscious talking to you, knocking on the door saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, or,
Oh, true, I know.
Yeah, so the message
That's why we're here.
Yeah, the message come and come very strong,
Yeah,
and
this is it.
And this is it, yeah. So, and of course I also do a little bit of healing, and I do as a river ceremony in Patrick's place when there's a Ship Creek, which is lovely, and the energy in that place is amazing.
The Milk River.
Yeah. So it's incredible. So you're coming, right? You're coming for,
yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna be in my river ceremony.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I started to discover things, and I don't call myself a shaman, but I do shamanic art, I call it, which at the end is magic, It's just the ability to see the magic that is there,
all around us.
That is all around
yes.
us, that we think that there is not there, but it's completely there, And for me, it's just like by seeing a bird flying.
Yes.
A bird flies in perfection.
Yes.
We humans, we haven't had the skill to do a replica of a bird.
No.
Or my hand. I always say my hand.
But if the bird flies in perfection, then everything we do is also in perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
works
we
here,
think
works there.
the other way.
Yeah.
We think that we are it's imperfect. Like this world is imperfect.
If we're imperfect, then we're perfectly imperfect.
We're perfectly imperfect. That's right.
That's right. We're all uniquely in the magic.
Exactly. We're completely in the magic. So I've been so I have felt so grateful and so honored by all my journey.
And really, a lot has happened in a short time for you.
Yes.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, you were just breaking up your family and wondering what the hell was next. And
yes. And beautiful family, beautiful boys, my ex-wife, beautiful woman, beautiful mother, you know. So it was more confusing, right? Like everything was so confusing for me. I didn't understand it. Now, of course, I connect dots and it makes
well,
more
it needed
sense.
to happen.
It needed to happen.
Yeah.
It needed to happen. Yeah.
You're going to take your boys to Mexico.
I'm going to take my boys to Mexico. I don't know if I'm going to take them to the spiritual journey, because they are right now vibrating in a different space. But
it just comes to me that once the intent is set, that they will be prepared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
that the universe will prepare them.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining.
Yeah. For them, it's a little kind of, you know,
Of course.
because they used to see me, and I was making fun of everyone about a fat woman or a fat guy or if it's that.
You had judgment.
I was completely in a judgment space every single day. So now for them, I'm a completely different person.
Who is Dad now?
Who's that?
What the hell happened to you?
Or could you come back? Yeah, exactly.
Where did you put my dad?
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
this is actually your dad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that was
in the best version.
Yeah, the other guy was a mask.
It was a mask.
Yeah.
Oh, wearing many masks.
Many masks, yeah.
Yeah. So for my boys, I've been trying to show them a little bit slowly my path, right?
Yeah.
Because the connection, once you started to see a little bit, then of course you started to hear stuff, and then you started to see things, and then you started to kind of feel things, and your intuition grows.
I get it. My kids are older, and I always stood in my spiritual path with my children for a long time, and it's taken a while, you know, but they've come their way. Yeah. But they've come very much to a similar spiritual path, and it's a gift. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
But they're older. They're, you know, my daughter's 38, and my middle son is 35, and those two have very much come into their spiritual path. And my youngest son seemed to always have found it. You know, and
how old is he?
He's 25 or 26 now, and he's you know, he seems to have found his way in the spiritual sense, and that it doesn't mean that he's not going to get knocked off and come back. But you know, he's a different mother and a different life situation, right?
Yeah. So for my kids, one is 18 and the other is 17.
They're young.
Today is the youngest birthday.
Yes.
His name is Rodrigo, which I love him so much, and happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, hijo.
So he speaks Spanish?
He speaks Spanish. Yeah. Well, he speaks Spanish a little bit like with accent, you know. And,
Alberta accent.
Alberta accent. You know. Yeah. But they are the beautiful kids, and I understand them. You know, I understand that of course it is challenging for them. But as you're saying, you know, it'll come.
Yes.
You know, it'll come.
Yeah, just
it'll come.
For us, I think to stay there with the love, you know, and listen, and give not so much advice.
No.
And just listen and be there with the love. Be there with the love. Love their mom. You know, and that's been, you know, I remember when my first divorce, and she was maybe a little upset with me at the time, and she said, I want first full custody of the children. And I said, okay. No problem. The kids should be with their mother.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, no problem. And a couple of days later, she said, you're not getting off that easy. Anyway, we worked it out pretty easy, you know. But there was no fight. I didn't have an argument. You know, no, you can't have full custody. I said, no, for sure.
Nice. It's a little bit the same with my ex-wife. You know, like we really live a life with peace. You know? And now we're having a separation, and we are in peace. You know, we have our ups and downs, of course. You know. Yeah. But we have a lot of peace. You know, peace is
I'm still very much in a relationship with my first wife. She has a store just down the way in the same building, so we see each other fairly often. She's married to another beautiful man who you know, works on my Harley Davidson every year, and he's
nice. You have a Harley, eh?
I do,
Nice.
And it's an old Harley. It's a 98, but it's
98.
Yeah.
A big fat.
Yes.
Nice.
It is. Yeah. Big old
Cool.
Decker.
Nice.
But he loves my bike. I think he loves my bike as much as I do.
Great.
And he works on it. He has two Harleys of his own, and he and I are friends.
Good.
Yeah, I'm friends with her husband. Yeah, I like that. You know.
Nice. Yeah. Life it works that way.
You know, we're always, you know, when you're married and have children with with a lady, we're always going to be together.
Exactly.
It's lifetime.
It lives lifetime.
And no matter what's happening,
Yeah.
relationships just change form.
Yeah.
It's not over.
Of course not. Plus, you're such a beautiful kids. You know,
Yes.
for me, it's just it's a surprise. It's
Yeah.
like a miracle.
Wait
a
till the
blessing.
grandkids come.
Oh yeah, my mind already is there. You know,
I have 5.
I have 5.
Yeah,
Nice.
only 5. But
Only 5. Well,
I'm open for more.
populating Alberta. That's what we need.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been pretty blessed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
very blessed.
I love kids. You know.
Yeah.
I play a lot with Moses. Mosesito is Fanny's
Okay. Yes.
son, and I
Yeah.
play with him. You know, I went yesterday to see her, and instead of talking to her, I was just playing with Moses. You know, here and there and boom, boom. You know,
Nice.
I love her kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Nice. Well, I don't know. I think we could talk all night.
Yeah, totally, completely.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm grateful.
Oh, I want to thank you because what you're doing for the community, it is amazing. Because we need these spaces. You know, we need to express ourselves. You know, like these. You can label it the way you want it, but after 2012, you know, the new age, the golden age, the fourth stage of consciousness, or what is coming, or is already here, actually. It needs to be spread, you know. We all are part of it, you know. Even if we're not doing anything, you know. So this kind of work that you do, or service, it is incredible for all of us, you know, because it really pushes to have questions, you know, which is the best motor. You
Yeah.
know?
It's interesting because, you know, it's like your trip to Mexico. I didn't plan this. You know, I saw the deer.
Yeah, good. He called you.
He called me.
Nice.
And I had no idea it was going to come like this, you know. And part of my vision was to help people create meditation spaces so that they can meditate. Because I think that if we're meditating, we become more conscious and we're lifted up, and it's good for the brain, it's good for the body, it's good for a spiritual connection. It makes us better human beings.
Nice.
And I believe that if we're
Yeah, totally,
meditating,
completely.
have a practice, you know. And then as I got more into you know, how am I going to, you know, carry a message about my meditation things?
Yeah.
It became obvious that there people weren't just lined up waiting to have a stool or waiting to have a space. And I thought, well, what's going on? So I interviewed hundreds of people. They come to the store and I say, how's your meditation? Oh, we don't meditate. Well, why not? Well, I should. And so many would say, well, I should. And well, why don't you? And so I started to dig into that. And I found that for the most part, many folks are afraid, or they just don't know how.
Yeah,
or
because it's unknown, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they don't know what to
it
expect,
is,
you know, and or they meditated a couple of times and nothing happened.
Exactly. Which nothing is something. You know?
That's right. Nothing's supposed to happen. But the beautiful thing is that science now has proven what happens in the brain, what happens with the body,
completely.
And so it's not just, you know, the idea of maybe a psychic connection or a spiritual connection, and you know, people have their own beliefs, and maybe that's not part of it, and that's okay. It doesn't can offend any of those beliefs to meditate. So I just came to start maybe talking to people on the video about meditation.
Yeah, cool.
And we were just going to do it once a week.
Nice.
And then it just took off.
Awesome.
And so we've had some really nice guests, as you know.
I can imagine, of course.
And we have our friend Paul Pozanowski is doing a thing called WUB coming up this coming weekend in Edmonton and the weekend after in Calgary. WUB.
Oh, you sent me the link. Yeah.
WUB. I WUB you.
Yeah.
So then we said we wanted to support him, so we said, well, we'll interview all your facilitators, everybody that's working in your thing, and then all of a sudden we were doing that all in 1 week, and then it's taken off by itself.
Great.
And we're and I think Corrine, Kilbeck, she's part of that, and Alice is part of that. Alice Hong is part of that, and Trevor.
I know. I heard of him. Yeah. I don't.
Yoda, Trevor, hi Trevor, sorry, is part of that, and so we want to support it because it's going to be a full day thing, and it's going to be, you know, the people who don't come will later say, Jesus, why didn't I go to that? Because it's going to be such
Powerful.
a great, powerful day. And so that's how this, and it's just kind of spun out.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So, but thank you for saying, you know, thank you.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Talking about meditation, I do something that is called the buffalo meditation. Because the buffalo, I call him the owner, the numero uno, the jefe of the northern plains.
The only animal who turns into the storm.
The only one that turns into the storm.
As Casey would say.
Yeah, exactly. The only one that chases heads down.
Into the storm.
Into the storm.
Hey, he's out of it the quickest.
That's right. Totally.
He knows.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, the buffalo is very strong. I have his medicine, and he has granted me so much. I have been gifted.
So my men's team is called Head Smashed In.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would love to be part of your men's group.
If you come tomorrow night, if you like, we meet tomorrow night at Eau Claire. There's a meeting space in Eau Claire that we rent when it's cold like this, and so it's an indoor meeting tomorrow night, and it's
no fire.
No fire. No, it was too freaking cold, and we're hardy, but we're not that hardy.
Do I have time for one story?
Sure, yeah.
In my pilgrimage in Mexico, I did several rituals and ceremonies, and then you can talk to the fire. The fire's name is Tatevari for the Wirraricas, so or the abuelo, or the grandfather. So they were saying, whenever you feel the call, you talk to the fire. So I was not receiving any call, and I was not going to stand in front of two maracames, the medicine man, and you know the rituals are very punctual in their tradition, and so I was not going to stand and talk to the fire at all, you know. So I stayed behind the curtains, and I'm not going to be there, right? Like, so I remember the fourth ceremony. One of the maracames, when the ceremony started, he said, "Ceasar, at 4:00 a.m." Because it lasts, the ceremonies last all night, you know, from 8 o'clock to till the first ray of Father's soul, Father's son, the Son, you know. When the first, you say Buenos Dias, which is good morning, and it's exactly where the ceremony finished, when you see the first ray of the sun. So he said, at 4:00, Ceasar, our hearts will beat as one. And of course, you know, words, oh, thank you for telling me, but there was no feeling, right? Well, it happens that probably like around 3:00, I felt the fire calling me to talk to the fire, you know. So I remember they were all sitting around, and I just stand and I went in front of the fire and I started talking to the fire. So as half of the guys were British or were from England, and the other half were Mexican, so I had the chance to say it in English and in Spanish. So I told them exactly what the Maracame Don Santos said, that our heart will beat as one at 4 a.m. And it was exactly, the timing was there. And Dave, believe me, it was incredible how my words, the timing with my words, and how we all look at each other, and we knew that our hearts were beating as one. And I remember next day people were telling me, Ceasar, when you said it, I felt the harmony, you know, which at the end, we all will beat as one. The whole human beings, you know. It was just a small group, but if you make it bigger, we are, because we are all one. You know? We are in the oneness. So feeling that is it's huge.
So we are an extension of Mother Earth's heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
And we all beat her beat.
Yeah. So feeling it is incredible. Yeah.
What a great story. Thank you.
No, thank you for letting me say it.
Fun. See, we could talk all night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Stories can come and come and come.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So yes, I'd love to have you come and meet my men.
Yep.
And it's a real mix
Cool.
of fellas, and you know, all in many ways looking to become better men. You know, better husbands, better sons.
That's
you
right.
know, better fathers and better brothers.
That's right.
Better uncles, all whatever we call ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a beautiful mix of men. Many of them very open to learning.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, so you'll enjoy.
I would love to be part of it.
Yeah,
for
tomorrow 7:00.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
We'll play.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
All right. Good.
Well, thank you, you guys. Just a couple of quick things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Okay, we'd love that if you do. And if you have any questions, you want to post questions as you're watching, or after, you know, later, please do. And if there's directly for Ceasar, I'll make sure he gets them. And so we love you, and thanks for watching. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you. Thank
Cheers.
You. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, brother. Oops.
Got it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent chat, eh?